Well, we signed this dude as
Yeah.
reinforcement.
We
Ryan
definitely
Anderson.
did. We
What do you got
definitely
on
did.
him?
Well,
He looks athletic to me.
so Ryan Anderson was a second-round draft pick, 2017 draft to the Washington Commanders, what they currently called. Obviously, they weren't in 2017. I think they were the Redskins back then. But out of Alabama, 4 years, not a ton of like crazy productivity. I think he has 70. Let me pull it up.
I think it's like 6 or 7 sacks total. The one
So
year
here
he
it
had
is right
4
here.
sacks.
78 total tackles, 6 sacks total in his career, 52 career games, 7 for a loss. So, but when you watch him as this, man, I think that he's really good against the run. I think he's stout. I think he's strong as heck, man. Good frame on him. Plays with good effort. Not necessarily a pass rusher, though. Can win, though. Think more of just a fundamental type of guy when he's rushing the passer versus when he's in the run game. I think that he's actually like a legitimate, like good player. But that is a Bama staple when you're talking about some of their front 7 dudes. They're stout as heck against the run. They're physical as heck. But when you're asking in terms of like, yo, are you just a freak that could just cook guys out here? He's not really giving you that. Don't think he's as athletic as Alex Highsmith, not as explosive as Alex Highsmith. I like Malik Reed a lot more. But if you're asking in terms of where he would lie versus a Jameer Jones versus your Hamilcar or your Hamilcar Rasheeds and
We
your
still
Derek
got
Tuskas.
Scott on the practice squad too.
Like, to me, I think Ryan Anderson is above them, but I think he's a cut below a Malik Reed and Alex Highsmith.
Which is how it should be, because
Yes.
if he wasn't a cut below Malik Reed or Highsmith, it's like, what are we doing?
Yeah. But like I said, I think he's a good player, but he's not going to come out there and be a world beater. I don't think that he's going to wow you. Even when he's won, I like the fact that he ball searches, though. Even on some, like I said, he doesn't have a ton of sacks, doesn't have a ton of, overall productivity, but he does search the ball. You watch him, man, he's hunting that ball, whether it's run game or hitting after the quarterback. He's trying to take that football away. And obviously that's a Nick Saban thing. He's really ball aware. And that's one of the things I'm sure Coach Tomlin was intrigued about, knowing what Coach Tomlin likes in his defenders, guys that hunt the ball, guys that are smart players, guys that play with great effort. Ryan checks those boxes. It's just, like I said, he's limited because he's not the best overall athlete. He's not going to come out there and just wow you with lights out speed or be 6'7" and look like a freak. Like, that's not him. But he's a good player, though.
Is there a week by week maybe time frame where you could potentially say to yourself, hey, it's time to bring in a big name?
Well, the big name element,
Because I think right now this is fine. This is 100% fine. And it should be fine if everything works out in the best case scenario, because TJ should only be out for 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
So that's why maybe you're not as focused on bringing in a dude like a D Ford or a JPP, because TJ is eventually going to come back, and then what's their role going to be?
Yeah. But TJ has to be the one that's
But we
back.
need to win games, though, still.
I'm with you. But the problem is, the reason why I don't say JPP, and I think we talked about in terms of the fit, is not really there, but also money-wise, he's going to want more than what we should pay for a 6 to 8 week Band-Aid, so to speak. Now, that would also lean back on this coaching staff and this training staff truly believing that it's 6 to 8 weeks. If they truly believe it's 6 to 8 weeks, we're probably not going to see them bring in anybody. They're going to ride with who we have.
My question is, you don't think there's at any point a scenario where we'd bring that up?
Me personally, I give these dudes 2 weeks. I trust Highsmith. I trust Cam. Yeah. I trust Larry Ogunjobi. I need to see, okay, with Malik. You're not just coming out here to be Malik. We're losing our best player. You know what I mean? In terms of TJ Watt. He does so much more than just rush the passer. So I don't know if it's just a Malik that is feeling just the baseline of that. It might be a 2-3 dude rotation that has to take place over there. I don't know. Based on who we have in-house, it doesn't make me feel the best about, how we're going to Band-Aid that. But the one thing that, in terms of how I hang my hat on, I say Cam, Larry Ogunjobi, Alex Highsmith, y'all guys got to take it to that next level. Y'all have to do the next thing. I'm not looking at Malik. I'm not looking at whoever's that other outside linebacker that might sub in. I don't want them doing anything that is not what they're capable of. I want you just going out here and just doing. If you're an 8, just be an 8. I don't need you coming out here trying to be a hero. Just do this part. And from there, we'll see how that looks. I do like the fact that this is New England we're going against because they're not an explosive passing unit where if our pass rush isn't where it needs to be, we could be exposed. I feel good about that part. If we were playing Cincinnati this week, it would be a little bit different because now I'm saying, hey, man, we need somebody that's going to be cooking over here for 4 quarters consistently. I don't know if these guys are that compared to how TJ was. So, but for this week, we should be fine.
Yeah. Whenever you look at the defense as a whole, I think it's still a good problem to have. And also I have faith that we could make this work for however long TJ is out. Malik Reed being one of your bottom 2 players,
bro,
that goes to show you still have a good defense. And as you named all the players, we still got Cam, we still got Highsmith, and if he just keeps playing like he did in week 1, that's gonna be a problem. You all of a sudden have now you're missing TJ, but still having at least one potential top 5 to 10 pass rusher in the league. That's a difference maker. With how the corners were playing, secondary, Minka Fitzpatrick, we can get through this for sure.
Yeah, but like you said, it is largely predicated on Highsmith has to keep playing the way he was.
And just everyone as a whole step up. Yeah.
But that's because that's TJ's impact. We know TJ is a heck of a player, and rightfully so. That's why he gets paid the big bucks, why he's the defensive player of the year, and everything else that has come along with it. So when he is not out there, the way you look at this defense does change a lot. You know what I mean? It's not as scary. It's still scary, but it's not as scary when there's not a TJ Watt over there. It's kind of like if you talked about the Browns defense, right? If you were to take Myles Garrett out their lineup, you can still respect the defense, but you're not talking about it to the same level. You know what I mean? If you talk about the Rams defense, you take Aaron Donald out that lineup, you're like, yo, they still good. They got pieces, but it ain't the same. And that's kind of how I feel about us right now. It's like we got pieces, but we don't have that guy right now.
And that's why I wonder if in a week or 2, 3 weeks, we look and we see our pass rush just isn't up to snuff. Do we make the move knowing that TJ still might be out for another 3 to 4 weeks? Whereas last year, whenever we had these injuries, it was like Highsmith was out for just like a week or 2.
Yeah.
TJ was out
really
for a
short
week.
Term, and it wasn't consecutive weeks. Yeah.
But if we had to deal with Tuska for like 4 or 5 weeks, I feel like we as fans, people watching, would be begging to dude, just make a move. We got to still win these games for when TJ does come back.
Yeah.
We still got to be in the mix.
Yeah.
So that's why I think the move's fine right now, but if things aren't working out, we need to call one of these big name guys and just try to get something going, I think. Give it our best effort.
Even if it's only going to be a 4-week game before TJ were to come back at that point in time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how you'd have to work it out because you don't want a Melvin Ingram scenario.
Because what I'm saying is this. We're not going to bring in this guy today, right? So you're at least going to be 1 week down. So you're going to see what that looks like. Maybe get 2 weeks of it. That's what I'm trying to be like, how far along before you pull that plug and say, hey, I want to bring this guy in. But now, because we waited a couple of weeks to see what it looks like to get to that point of, all right, now we got to pull this trigger. Now you're talking about spending a lot or more than we necessarily would want to for an even shorter window of time before TJ were to return.
Wouldn't be the worst thing having the extra depth.
But that depth isn't going to talk about being depth when that depth was out there playing 70, 80 snaps as the starter, because that's the Melvin Ingram issue.
I know. It depends on...
And if you're bringing Jason Pierre-Paul in here, I can assure you, you're going to have similar things like that. He won't be a cancer or nothing like that, but he wants to play. And rightfully so, because he's a heck of a player. And he's proven himself. He's a multiple-time champion. Got a ton of sacks as well. He's going to be out here looking like, okay, I don't mind sitting behind TJ. I ain't sitting behind Highsmith. I'm a Super Bowl champ. I got this and this and this. That's not what Ingram was the same way. I get why. Now, do we agree with it? Not necessarily. But that's what you deal with potentially when you're bringing those guys in, because you're not bringing them in on minimums either. You're going to have to compensate them to a certain level.
Yeah, it's all on how you handle it beforehand. Did the Steelers handle it the best beforehand with Ingram? We weren't in the room.
Yeah, we weren't. Yeah, so we
because based off Ingram's thinking with it, he thought he was going to be in the mix to be starting the whole way through. Whereas when we signed him, we thought we were going to give the keys to Highsmith. And, you're going to be our solid third guy. Maybe get 30% of snaps, whatever it is. So if we can be clear up front with the JPP or like a D4, like, dude, we're going to need you for this stretch right here. I can't guarantee you anything after that. You're going to be a depth guy. Maybe we bring you in for pass rush situations. But if you want a job, you want some money, we got you here.